What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So one of the biggest tournaments for Pokemon TCG Pocket, the first time in a long time, has happened over this weekend, gaining 738 participants in this tournament hosted by Pocket Match himself. And basically, we have so much data to compile into this metagame right now. Basically, we're going to go over the best decks that you guys should be playing on the ladder or for the ribbon event that's coming up. And basically, yeah, this is a good solid foundation, you know, for the first week of, you know, this brand new set. And I'm sure it's gonna evolve, and I will be covering all the data. And let's get into the decks. So let's look at the metagame. So the metagame right here, we had 96 Entei Mega Blaziken decks entering this tournament. In second, we had 77 Mega Absol and Darkrai variants entering this. The third deck is Greninja and Oricorio, 26 of those. But do you see the giant leap from 96, 77 to 26? It shows you that these two Mega Pokemon are very, very popular right now. And yeah, no, we have Luxray coming in at 4th with 25 representatives. We have two different variants of Suicune and Greninja, and then Suicune and Greninja EX. You know, the one with the EX version has 23 different decks in it, and we have 21 just old school Greninja decks, and then Mega Altaria having about 20 decks entering this tournament, Jolteon having 14, and then we have different Altaria versions with, you know, Giratina 14, with just Altaria, its non-Mega Evolution form 13, and the Jirachi one 13 as well. And we're gonna go over all of the decks now. So this deck right here is Jolteon EX. Jolteon EX is really strong. We covered it on my channel, but basically just to go over the deck, basically you have Eevee. You can evolve Jolteon first turn, apply pressure to your opponent. Every time they put an energy onto their Pokemon, they get punished and take 20 damage because Jolteon is kind of crazy like that. And we have Zeraoras. Of course, we want to build up our energy as quick as possible. We have Oricorio and Pikachu EX. See, Oricorio in this format, as you're going to see, it's really common in all of these decks. Wall out all of the Mega Pokemon and just plays really well into the meta. So yeah, Oricorio is still very relevant in this metagame. And then Pikachu's in this just to get the finishing kill with 150 damage itself. And then you got cards like Copycat and May boosting the consistency of this deck, so you could find your evolutionary lines or your starting Zeraoras with May. And then Copycat will help you out getting elemental switches, X speed, giant capes, whatever you need. And then you play your 2 Cyrus and 2 Professor's Research. The next deck I want to talk about is Blaziken EX, and this is the variant that we covered at the first day, you know, once the set was released. Entei is the best way to run this deck. It's either Entei or the Cleffa, but Entei is showing more dominance right now because, like, you get that extra draw engine, and it's really good for this deck because you could evolve into Mega Blaziken or search regular Blaziken in order to take care of Oricorio, because Oricorio definitely stops this deck. And then you got cards like Sabrina to help out in that situation. And then afterwards, you're running, you know, Professor's Research, Cyrus, Lily, Mars, Guzma. Flame Patch is a nice addition because you burn 1 energy, and if, you know, somehow you send out a Blaziken with no energy, or they, you know, somehow Team Rocket Grunt or, you know, Guzzlord grindcore your energy away, you have Flame Patch to, you know, build yourself up. Or you could use Flame Patch for Entei. You never know. I do think Blaziken is very solid in this metagame right now, and I would recommend you guys try out this deck if you have not. It's really good. The next deck I want to talk about is Luxray. Luxray has been gaining a lot of popularity since it got its new, like, alternate form, or basically full art, well, 1 star. And, you know, just Luxray attacking on the bench, and then the one that deals 120 damage, comboing well with Volkner. It's like insane. It's just like a bunch of free damage, and not only that, it plays well into all of the water decks, and you need to take 3 points away from this deck in order to win the game. And Oricorio, again, you could abuse it at 2 because you're running electric energy, and you know, you have the whole Shinx line. Just you want the consistency of getting the Luxray. And then, you know, this deck is playing Zeraora, researches, 1 Cyrus, 2 Pokeball, 2 Rare Candy, 1 Elemental Switch, and 1 red card for Disruption. Now, this deck right here has been gaining a lot of popularity. I'm pretty sure you guys have been seeing this around everywhere online. So the reason why it's really good is because you have massive control over the board and your opponent's hand. So over the board, I say, because you have Oricorio for defending, you got Darkrai pinging, and you know, you could just abuse cards like Cyrus, you know, just keep it poking with Oricorio because you have access to Pichu, giving Oricorio energy, and as you attack with Oricorio, you're pinging your opponent's Pokemon with Darkrai, and you have Mega Absol in the back that you're building up slowly, so you could just end up winning the game. It has 170 HP, doing 80 damage, and basically does 100 damage with Darkrai in the back, so it's really good. You play red, Pokemon Center Lady for your Oricorios, and Mega Absol to Cyrus because your opponent's definitely going to be retreating, you know, every now and then with all these pings, and chip damage, you know, from Ori's 50. And then you play Leaf for the terrible starts if you have to start with Darkrai or Mega Absol, even though Mega Absol you do have 1 retreat cost. Another thing we want to mention, we are playing 1 Cape and 2 red card for a Disruption. Again, this red card synergizes very well with Absol, and then you have a Pokeball as well to search all your Pokemon. Alright, we have Mega Altaria. This is definitely a very strong deck. One of the strongest Mega Pokemon that you should be playing right now. And, you know, Mega Altaria combos well into with Jirachi. Jirachi doing 30 damage anywhere on the board. And then you play Chingling. Chingling is really good because it has no retreat cost, and your opponent cannot use item cards, and you could attack in the first turn, so you can't get red carded or, you know, anything repelled, any of those nonsense cards. And you know, you do play Sableye. Dirty Throw does 70 damage for 2 energy. Now, it deals with Oricorio. You discard 1 card from your hand in order to do the 70 damage. So, it's a small price to pay. But in this deck, in my experience, your hand has been pretty full and stacked at all times. And then, you know, you play cards like Licia, so you can search your 2 Swablues, 2 Jirachis, or Chinglings. And then Copycat helps with the consistency of this deck. You play Sabrina, Cyrus, you know, because Jirachi could attack anything in the back row. And, you know, you have cards like Mars for hand disruption and double red card. It's really good. And you play Pokeball. This is also a very good deck that's doing good in this tournament as well. The next deck I want to talk about is the Mega Absol with Sylveon and Hydreigon. Now, this deck prioritizes Hydreigon over the Mega Absol, and then you're playing Find a Friend Eevee to help the consistency of the Hydreigon plays, and you play 1 Sylveon, of course, to get the draw engine, honestly, and then see your rare candies as fast as possible, because dealing 130 damage is very powerful, and you're only taking 30 damage from Hydreigon's ability. So next up, you do play 1 Giovanni for extra damage, Red for extra damage, Mars for hand disruption, Lily to heal your Hydreigon, Sabrina for, you know, to push for game or to get rid of the Oricorios. It doesn't even matter because this whole deck could deal with Oricorio like no problem. The rare candies and Giant Cape. Giant Cape is very popular in this format, so that's one card I would say to be on the lookout for. Now, this deck right here is very strong. It's definitely the Greninja and Suicune variant, and I put this one up here because this deck was undefeated before Top Cut, And just overall, just to show you how strong Suicune is still in the metagame right now. Yeah, it's not that different from last format. Still very strong. There's not really much to say. You play Oricorio for defense. You're playing the brand new Froakie, because the brand new Froakie does 20 damage as opposed to 10 damage, you know. And then it's basically, if you guys played last format, you guys already know. Lastly, this deck right here has been doing insanely good. It was also undefeated before Top Cut. It's type no Silvally Oricorio. Now you play electric energy, and the one difference from this deck, you play Copycat. Copycat is so helpful in this deck. It helps the consistency, finding all your missing pieces for Silvally. And just overall, you play Rocky Helmet, Geo, Red Card, Mars, Sabrina, and then the Gladion to search. And overall, it's very good. Your stall out with Oricorio, come in swinging for 100 damage, put the Rocky Helmet on Oricorio. It's like an insane deck, and it plays well into all these mega variants as well. So, you know, this deck, I wouldn't sleep on it. Give it a shot. And yeah, so basically, these are all the successful decks that have been competing in this 738 person tournament. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys like about this brand new pack.